call the meeting to order then.
Agnes Varnarski.
Present.
Syvertson.
Here.
Keith Hahn.
Here.
John Comish.
Here.
Ed Madden.
Present.
Beth Marcus.
Here.
I'm Jill Moskell. All commissioners are present. We have a quorum.
Now let's have approval of minutes of the board meeting of June 10th.
I absolutely recommend and make the motion to approve those stellar minutes as recorded by Jill Moskal.
Thank you.
Aye. Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, let's move on to old business, volunteer work days. So we have a volunteer work day this Sunday at Hillcrest Lake, and the interns have drilled 2,900 holes for plants. So that's our work day for this work day.
That's in the North Finger.
So it's a continuation of what we've been planting over there. So it's just a matter of getting all those plants ready and bringing them over. So looking forward to that. I was thinking of having an extra work day for seed collection at the Sedge Meadow, only because the sedges are ready to collect, and I didn't want to necessarily take away from our work days of planting. So I was thinking maybe sometime in the evening next week, perhaps on a Wednesday evening, we could organize just a special extra work day. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
No objections.
Any time,
Well, just do it on a Wednesday night, like regular seed collection day.
like 5 to 7? Okay.
Yeah.
So how about this next Wednesday? This Wednesday we do it. We'll just send out a notice to everybody from 5 to 7, seed collection at the Sedge Meadow. Be okay with that?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Good.
The workday notice will go out right after this meeting for this Sunday.
Anything else about volunteer work days?
We missed the last work day because of everything was underwater. That was to cut the new trail over on the east side of the slough. At some point, it's still flagged out. So if the availability of the interns works out in such a way that they can start it.
They did. They did half.
They did.
Oh, they did half of it. Okay, great. Okay, so that shows what I know.
Yesterday.
It's a little too zigzaggy in my opinion right now, and I think we should do something to try and smooth it out a little bit.
Okay.
I know we staked it out that way, but I happened to walk it the other day, and it's a little too juddy.
Okay.
So we can kind of smooth it out somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, we can meet over there and just do it.
Yeah.
Didn't take long to do. So. Okay. All right. Then let's move on to Arlington Countryside Storm Sewer System Project.
Okay. The only update I have for you guys is we met with Joe Wade last week or this week. This week, and Joe reiterated that they're putting together a informational meeting that will address all of our concerns. The date is sometime late in August, so we just simply have to be patient and wait for that opportunity to find out what the plan is. The only update there is.
Okay, let's move on to the Prospect Heights Public Library Park District event.
Okay, Nature Speaks. We have Allison is our next speaker. I reached out to two people actually for the winter version. One is Alice Bell. She's an English author who just released her new book has just come out. It's called Our Big Experiment, and it's a history of climate change, which is a real different twist. It's supposed to be an incredible, it hasn't been released yet here in the US, so I haven't had a chance to even look at it. But the reviews coming from Europe are it's a really a masterpiece. So I've reached out to her about becoming a speaker, just the way we did with Gavin, and also Robert Czar from Prescription RX Parks, the organization out of Washington D.C. That is probably the biggest proponent of issuing prescriptions for people to get their butts out in nature. And he has a lot to say. So either one of those would be just a tremendous asset. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe we get both of them. So that's all I have for Nature Speaks. The bird walks.
Excuse me, Dana. Can you remind us of the date for Allison's presentation?
I sure can. I believe it's September 24th. Hold on one second.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't know. Hold on one sec. I believe it, Jill, but I just want to verify in my own mind.
Oh, it's September 23rd.
Yeah, September 23rd. Okay, from 7 to 8:30, and it's again, it's a Zoom presentation. Okay. So Ed, I'll send you all the PR stuff on that as soon as we're done. The bird walks have been resolved. The dates are September 25th and October 9th. Mary Lou Mellon will be leading those, both of those walks. The September 25th is the anchor event for Prairie Week. So.
I think it's the ending of Prairie
That's
Week.
what anchor means.
Oh, okay.
That's all I got.
Okay, then let's move on to the Sleuth Boardwalk project in Sedge.
Yay, we got the grant.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, PHRC. So I put out the statement here to everybody. We received our donor check for $3,000 today. We're putting in our $1,000. Seth brought over his check for $750. Jill's going to take hers for $250 to Peter. We'll drop him off at Peter Falcone tomorrow and have the all the funds in place. The ComEd is issuing their check for $6,000, and that will be if Peter doesn't have it already, he'll have it in a day or two.
It's issued to the Park District, though. Is that going to change because it's a Park District?
No, it's going into the city administrates the funds. So.
Despite the fact that it's a Park District applies for the grant.
Yeah.
Want to check on that?
At least
probably.
that's the way we've always done it. So.
Dana, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Park District's grant, so we're going to have to figure out what Christina wants to do with that.
Okay.
So I think the money should we're doing the pollinator park, but they're doing the boardwalk. So we'll have to figure out what that. So it may not be. I mean, we can if the check's written out to us from the anonymous donor, we can cut a check to the Park District.
Okay.
Just to make it easier so that he doesn't have to write another check. But we'll have to check with the Park District and how they want to handle it, because they're the ones that are handling the budget on this.
Okay. That would be the same with Seth, and we haven't written ours yet. So.
Correct. I would hold off on filling in who it goes to until I can find out from Christina how she wants to handle it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about our the Eagle Scout?
Felix is in the process of still sorting out his his approval of his Eagle Scout project. He has been issued a oversight person, and that's all we know at this point. So.
We have a potential start date on that project?
I know that Felix and his dad were talking about late August, to get started. I think everything is sort of up in the air at this point. So the funds will certainly all be in place by August 1st. So I suspect anytime we decide it's time to start, we can do it. You're muted, Ed.
or not hearing us.
You're muted, Ed.
I'm actually not. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So I just wanted to acknowledge the financial contributions that new commissioners are making towards this. It just seemed like it was just said, oh, we're doing this, but that's a very, very noble thing that you're doing. And I know I personally am grateful for you guys doing that and just want to recognize it.
Thank you.
So anything else about that? Any questions, comments?
No, as soon as we have an update from Felix, we'll let you guys all know. Until then, Seth told me the lumber prices are coming down, so that's a good thing. And hopefully by the time everybody's ready to go, it'll be back to where it used to be.
Update on Pollinator Park. So, I mean, basically, we're having this work day, 2,900 slugs. We've prepared an area on the north end, and the plantings look great, the ones from last year. The areas that we seeded are coming in, but that takes a long time. Needs to be mowed once in a while and clipped, sort of manicured, weeded a little bit, but have faith that those areas are going to come in. We didn't get a lot of rain earlier in the season, so some of those seeds probably didn't germinate, but they will, so it's just a matter of time. We put out like dozens of pounds of seeds in those areas. Matter of time.
All the new plantings on the north finger there that we put in on the last workday, the 1,800 plus, those have been watered with roughly around 128 gallons of water every day for the last 4 days. So after we had that big run on the rain, we went back in a dry spell, so they're getting watered. And that all looks a lot better as a result. So this work day, this Sunday, should make a big difference on that far north end, and then we'll start working back towards Willow Road, I think.
What about the interpretive signage and?
Yep, gotta get on it. We actually have, this project is gotta be done by, and we somehow lost a year in thinking about it. The deadline is December of 2022.
No, 2021.
2021.
18 months, right. We have to report on it by 24 months, so the expenditure has to be by December of 2021, by the end of this year. 18 months to extend the grant fund.
Okay. Any questions?
So did you say 18 months?
From the date of receiving
The grant,
the grant,
which
Got
is
it. Okay.
like end of June, so basically.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to really get going on the interpretive signage and the rest of the grant, other than just the plants, I mean.
There's also some decisions to be made about garbage cans and benches, and we had originally talked about using either landscape boulders or tree stumps as opposed to actual benches. I did have a conversation I met Mark Roscoe at the lake and had a conversation with him. He's not in favor of garbage cans because he says in their experience what happens is people just show up and dump their garbage in there, and they overflow the garbage cans and they just cram it full of all kinds of other weird stuff. The one that's on Willow Road is a special can where they just simply lift the entire can out and they put another clean one in. Then they take it off and dump it somewhere else. But he was not keen on the idea of garbage cans, but he said he would leave it up to us to decide. In that new area in the North Finger, there's a big willow log that is perfect for sitting on, and we've seen guys fishing off of that. We've also seen on numerous occasions Corona bottles, and vodka bottles, and then the kids come along and they break the bottles, and we end up cleaning glass. So, something, you know, really should probably get at least one garbage can down there by that end, because it is a spot where people like to go fish. So,
I was thinking, you know, there's these small type standing, very innocuous little garbage cans, like if you have a wrapper or a bottle, you just put that in, but not necessarily, you can't put a whole bag in there, you can't put a large amount of trash. Maybe like if you're walking around with a coffee cup, you just stick it in there, just really small, standing up. I mean, that might be an idea, to have a little bit of a garbage can, but not necessarily where people are dumping things.
that would be an alternative for sure. You wanna look it up?
I'll look it up.
I mean, in general, I don't, you know, trash in that area as it stands, it pops up here and there, and residents pick it up, and that, not a huge problem with a lot of trash there now. I don't know, maybe Mark's idea of no trash cans isn't the worst. I don't know.
What I noticed though is that, and I don't know why this happens, but as soon as there's like plantings or like a natural area, people feel inclined to just like throw things in there. They think that it's like hidden. I think they're more inclined to throw things than just like on a lawn. I don't know why that is. I have no idea. But I've noticed more, you know, bottles and things like that around plantings especially. And I don't know why that is exactly, but.
Well, this may be a little bit different. One experience I can share with our bus shelters is that those have those smaller, more, you know, vertical garbage cans, and it's still an opportunity for people to just dump everything there, especially those that are walking their dogs, and at least have the courtesy to pick it up, but don't really want to be carrying it all the way home, and you know, it can still get out of control too. So, and then the problem with the smaller can is it has to be emptied often, or else you have that issue of there's not a whole lot of capacity. Just additional food for thought.
Okay. I suppose we could try it without and see what happens for a while. I mean, we're gonna know just based on the way it is right now. I mean, so far today we've seen an influx of Corona bottles at that one location, and that's been about it. So, otherwise I think it's all been pretty clean, like John says. So maybe we just keep an eye on it, and later on,
Dog poop, that's a big one. Dog poop everywhere. People don't clean up after their dogs at all.
Got the signs up.
I know.
we don't think we have any down there at that end on the north end, do we, John?
There's one at the corner, on Owen and Hillcrest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we need another one.
Well, I don't know, the signs really work. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's move on to, the update on the Prospect Heights Public Library plant giveaway.
Jill?
All right, we had a beautiful day. A lot of thanks to Terry Campbell. It was her day off too, and she showed up and she stayed with us the entire 3 hours. We did not have much traffic, but the people that came by, we made, what was it, Dana, between 3 to 5 new contacts through the people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of young people, which is encouraging. They're moving into our town. So although not a lot of traffic, it was still enjoyable, and we did get, what was it, 25 emails?
Yeah, 25. Mm-hmm.
5 new contacts.
Yeah, and like Jill said, a lot of those were, you know, Prospect Heights is definitely getting younger. One of the people that walked over because they read about it in the library newsletter bought that house on Camp McDonald Road that has Prairie in the front. What we didn't know is they have like almost 3/4 of an acre behind it, and most of it is Prairie as well. So they invited us at some point to come over and take a look at what's going on over there. So they just moved here from Texas.
They're not gonna mow it down, are they?
No. No, that was the
Realize,
reason they bought the house was the Prairie.
Great.
Yeah, that's great, but I did notice a little bit of thistle there last year, so it would be nice to go and have a conversation with them, so just give
Yeah,
us
they
a heads up.
invited us to
Heads
contact
up
them.
on, you know, what they need to do to maintain it. Okay, great. Update method to conduct meetings going forward.
Jill?
yes. At the last council meeting, the city council is returning to council chambers with their July 26th meeting. They will be meeting then in person. They do have specified seating for distancing and other arrangements in place for attendees. They're only allowing so many attendees in council chambers. The rest will be in the conference room. So my question, and maybe Pete Fels-Cohn can help us with this, if city council is returning to chambers, does that mean that we should return to council chambers to conduct our meetings? Can we do a hybrid? Can we just continue with Zoom? What is the procedure now for our commission?
Yeah, well, both the council and the NRC are bound by whatever the governor does. And the governor right now has said that he is not extending his order that allows for hybrid or Zoom meetings after July 24th. I believe it expires July 24th, and our next meeting, you're correct, is the 26th. So, assuming he's a man of his word and he is not going to extend his governor's order again, it really snaps back to pre-COVID procedures. Now, you're absolutely right. The council is going to change some things up as far as who sits on the dais. But as far as the NRC is concerned, you've only got 7 members, so the dais is plenty big enough for your commission. And then there will be spacing, 6-foot spacing of the chairs for the audience. But that is just above and beyond what we really need to do. There are other communities that have gone back to pre-COVID where it's like a Cubs game or a Sox game where the chairs are right next to each other. So, but if the governor does not extend it, which we do not believe he will, and his governor's order expires on the 24th, the NRC's next meeting will be in the council chambers, if you want to hold a meeting.
Well, it's going to be very important for our audience.
Can't hear you, Ed.
The crowd control is going to be very important.
Crowd control. Okay, so our next meeting is in council chambers. Okay.
Move on.
Independence Day Parade, July 3rd.
Jill needs a shout out for putting all that candy and PR together and putting them in the bags, getting them out there. Thank you, Jill. The leftover stuff we'll use at the either the camp or on the work day.
Or another idea was block party.
Oh yeah, the block party is probably the better route to go. We participated.
A lot of fun. It was really great to be out there, and it was a really great event.
Yeah, a lot of people, organizations participated in the parade. Everyone was in a great mood and very patriotic. It was really a nice day. Hot, but
yeah, it was
summer.
a beautiful day. It's one of my favorite events. It was really
Really missed the hot dogs though.
That is true. I think everybody missed the hot dogs, but it's understandable. But it was really nice to see everybody, and it's just a really nice event to bring the community together, and I enjoyed it very much, and I'm glad we were a part of it.
I think we should, for future ones, I think we should do more to make it clear who we are and maybe even what we do.
Floats?
Yeah, we've talked about renting a flatbed float sort of arrangement, and then the van has a towing capability. and we would just tow that as opposed to, we had all kinds of great ideas, of course, after the fact.
Right.
Of putting, native plants on the roof and fake roots going down and all kinds of other great ideas, but that came after the fact. So next year we'll have plenty of ideas. And
We should start planning earlier, so that it's not sort of last minute. So maybe we start planning for it in, December or January, where it's a slower season, and we can really start planning for the parade for next year.
yeah,
I think sometimes because we're, obviously aware of ourselves, we don't realize that there's a lot of our citizenry that just isn't familiar with us for whatever reason. And I think it's a great opportunity to publicize what we do and, with obviously some cute things, but also some sort of straight up, who we are and our name and just some things that just say out loud.
yeah, we had that big red sign that said the Natural Resources Commission. We have no idea where it went.
Yeah, but we can make a new one for next year.
We can get a new one.
Yeah. I found it really nice, I think probably for the first time. I mean, as we were driving along, people just yelled out, "Thanks for all you do," and we really appreciate you. And so I got the sense that a lot of people really knew who we were, and it was really nice to hear that. I mean, from people I didn't even know, thanks for all you do, and we really appreciate you, and, go PHNRC, and it was really, really nice.
In walking it with Norma, there were 2 homes on Willow just before Schoenbeck, and at the end of their driveway they had milkweed and other prairie plants, and we were calling it out to them. They said, "Yes, we know who you are. We volunteer when we can," and they've been to get the plants at the block party. So that was really nice. And
one thing I would do is, one thing I would recommend is for us to come up with a tagline, a 1-sentence synopsis of what we're about, whether it's helping to protect, helping to restore natural areas in Prospect Heights, or just something that where somebody can briefly read it and go, "Oh, that's what they do."
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think the point's well taken. A lot of people do know what we do, but there's still a lot who may not. And a simple tagline, I think, will go a long way to educating that. And then, or they just connect the dots and, "Oh, that's."
Yeah.
Point well taken, Ed.
Right. We could abbreviate our mission statement, and use it as a tagline.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, again, I'd recommend something that just is a brief, just tells the story. So it may not be the mission statement because that's pretty wordy, but just a 1 sentence of what we're about, and where it'll be very, very clear to people. So I'm sure we can come up with some.
Yeah. Agree. Okay. Any other comments about the parade? No?
Those are all good comments.
Yeah. Okay, next, moving on, summer interns of 2021. It's been really great. They're hardworking. We've got a lot done and still a lot to get done. Beth, did you want to make a comment? You've been with us a lot over the summer.
No, they're great workers, and very interested in the work and interested in the whole concept of restoration. It's wonderful to see.
It's coming to an end really fast.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast this all goes. So they end, I believe Colin ends the first week of August and Blair ends the second week of August. Okay. Next, new business, the Prospect Heights Fire District Block Party, August 20th.
Okay, before the meeting, I sent everybody the latest update from Christina. Did everybody have a chance to review that?
Yes.
Okay. It's, basically, she's saying that, it's on Saturday, the 28th, from 3 in the afternoon to 10 at night. There's no, swimming pool open. Everything is sort of a little bit on the abbreviated side. They have a few events going on. But again, this is our big, opportunity to collect, email addresses, so.
Engage with the community and give out plans.
6-pack giveaways again and all the rest of that stuff, so.
My other favorite event.
I sent everybody the information, so, we know Seth probably won't be here. Peter is, gonna be based on what his, work schedule permits. I'll be able to be there. Agnes is gonna be working for the first part of the day.
I think that day off,
Oh, you
probably.
are? Okay.
We'll see, I think.
All right, so anybody else, as soon as you figure out what your availability is, just email it to us and let us know, and then,
The whole time.
Is it August 28th?
yes,
Yeah, I expect to be there.
okay.
Yeah, I think Seth was only gone for the, second and
Oh,
third.
yeah, sorry, Seth, we were talking about the camp, Seth, I'm
The
sorry.
camp, yeah.
I'm confusing it with the camp.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it in a minute, yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, great.
And that's the same thing for me too. I mean, I would plan around everyone else. I just don't know yet. We're expecting very soon at work, I'm gonna get clearance to start doing public events again. And we just don't know when that's gonna, take place, and once it is, we'll be rapidly, starting those up. So, I will do everything I can to be there as much of the time as possible, but, set the dates around.
Yeah, we need our Barker, that's for sure.
I'm out of town that weekend.
Okay.
Which, are you talking about the day camp thing, or?
No, we're talking about a block party right now.
Right now.
Okay, all right. I was referring to the day camp.
Okay.
Sorry.
Block party.
Block party.
Got it.
28th.
I plan,
Do we have that on the agenda, actually, the nature camp?
No, we need to add it.
Wait, well, why don't we just talk about it right now, since it's Prospect Heights Park District?
Okay, if nobody objects, we have, some information.
This just came out of, like,
Yeah, I sent it to
yesterday.
everybody this morning. It's the week of the 9th
The 9th to the 13th.
13th, and it is, the 3 days in a row have not been selected. So it's up to us to tell them what 3 days we would like to do it in.
And the same thing going for the morning, like
It goes from the morning
9:15
from 9:15
to 11:30.
11:30.
just
So
like it was 2 years ago.
it'll be like 65 kids, 5 stations.
They have 50 registered so far, but that could increase, and by that time it probably will, so we'll probably have the same amount as we did 2 years ago.
So, if you think back to what we did back then, we had a creative section, we had Ed's
Edna Creek.
we had the skins and skulls, we had the
Nature walk,
nature walk, and then we had the games and
we had arts and crafts.
yeah, I said that right.
Yeah, but we had different things over 3
Or
days.
5 things.
Well, no, we had 5 stations each day, but each day there were different things that we did at each
Correct.
of those stations. And so we made a visit to the Comment Prairie on one of those days, and then 2 days we were in Marama.
That would
What
be
I
the same
recollect.
format as this time, so
But,
one of those days.
I don't know if you got my email of some ideas that I had, but the one thing that the kids kept talking about was a scavenger hunt or a treasure hunt. They were, and my idea was that when Agnes puts them on the trail, you have a little bit of education, maybe about a minute or two, and then have like a test, like find it, and when they find it, there'll be a prize there for them, like if they choose the right plant or the right tree or fungus or whatever. And the article did talk about, which we did last time, was sensory, that they really talked about how children learn from sight, sound, touch, so forth. So, did you read my email that I sent?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I got it printed out right here.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. I like that, and I like incorporating that
Gabby had a couple of really good ideas too. I don't have them with me right now, but I'll summarize what she had to say. There's no limit to what can be done other than our imagination. So it's time to start conceiving it though, and find out who's available and when, and what days. I think the first task is picking
The days.
the 3 days.
For me,
Wednesday has to be one of them because of her availability. So I don't know what works for everybody else. If you guys don't want to think about it and just email us later.
yeah, it could be
That's
like
fine.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or it could be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
right, whatever.
anything. If we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Agnes is available all day Wednesday, but she's also available
Half of Friday.
half of Friday, which would cover the whole event just about.
Well, no, then I'll, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I just can't take off as many days as I used to be able to in a row because I'm the only one now, so I have no coverage at work. I could probably do 2 days, but I can't do 3, especially since they're in a row.
So whatever you have, just put it in the email and send it, and then we'll sort it out and get back to everybody.
Okay.
And one of our interns, or Blair, will still be here, but Colin will not. So we'll have one intern come.
We'll also be talking to
We thought.
volunteers this weekend to see who might be interested. Last time Linda Wasey was there, Norma was there, Judy was there. There was a lot of help from the volunteers as well. So I think we can count on some of that again.
You know, we also had a lot of like arts and crafts, and really that turned out really nice. You know, the butterflies that we made and the walking sticks, and then we had but I was thinking of maybe reaching out also to our local artists and see if they
I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a response. So.
Okay, because, you know, that would be really, really great participation, and maybe they have some even nicer ideas for our craft section.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
you
what,
can teach how to make those bees. That's because someone wanted to buy one of them. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, Karen.
Yeah, great. So, you know, it's all, a little ways away, so we have a little bit of time, so we'll just email with updates. Okay, then let's move along to Illinois Prairie Week, September 19th to 23rd.
Jill put together a nice prospectus. Jill, did you send that to everybody?
Yes, it was with the meeting materials. I just started thinking about the week because we already had Nature Speaks there. We had the bird walk. We have a work day to kick off the week. My thought too was, I had mentioned this to Dana, that we should update our SLU presentation and perhaps do another SLU presentation, what with the interest with the pollinator park, and give people a refresher course on that. And then you and Seth are doing something, I thought, with your artistry at the library, so I don't know if that could be, if we could do some of the display cases with information on Prairie and natural restoration, etc.
Yeah, until Terry gets back to us, I have no idea what any of the timing or anything else associated with the library is. So I can tell you there is one event to add to it, and that would be on the last day following the bird walk. So that would be the 25th. The Sunflower Group is going to do an art camp for up to 20 people as wildflowers on wood. And so their intention is to have wood pallets, or not pallets, but wood canvases, and then sample wildflowers there, and have people paint wildflowers onto the wood based on their guidance.
Where is that?
That will be at Isaac Walton, and they're totally going to run that. So that would be like a Park District class that you sign up for through the Park District. There's a $10 fee associated with it, and the limit is 20 people. So Marcy has already approved all that and totally in love with the idea. So I spoke to Kate, and she said, yeah, it'd be great to incorporate that with Prairie Week. So that would be like the right after the bird walk, in the same place as the bird walk. And
The Inky.
Is that on a Sunday, the 26th?
no, Saturday the 25th.
It'll be right after the walk.
It's right after the bird walk.
So you end at Ice Mountain, and then you continue to the artist.
Correct. Otherwise, yeah, the book ends with it starts up with a work day and ends with bird walk and.
There's some other things on here too, all right? The regularly scheduled work day, and then we don't know about that commissioner's artwork display, right?
Correct.
On Monday, and then Tuesday the school presentation. So I don't know about that one either.
Yeah, that hasn't been set up.
I know, these are just ideas.
Yeah, these are
right.
just ideas, right?
Right. So, and they're great ideas. They're really good ideas. Just have to see if we can set that up. And then Wednesday, the tour of the slough and our Hillcrest Lake, Pollinator Park, and we invite everybody from all around for that. I love that idea too. And then a special seed collection Wednesday. And Thursday, the Nature Speaks program. Yeah, it's really great. Just have to, the Monday and the Tuesday.
Yeah, I would say the Tuesday's probably doubtful given everything that's on our plate right now. That it would be really difficult to update that presentation and then ask the commissioners for another commitment. Getting ready for that slough and Pollinator Park tour is a lot of work, and then.
But we can do that.
We could certainly do that. We've always done a tour in Prairie Week. They've always been lightly attended, but with all the new synergy, it's possible
right.
that
and
it would be
especially
really good.
if we do those invitations to all those people, I think that would be great.
Thanks for putting this together, Jill.
Yeah.
It's a good, useful outline.
Welcome. Glad it's useful.
All right, I'll get back to everybody with, I'll follow up with Terry and see what else she knows about the art display for Seth and David Ledwin.
Okay. All right. So then next is path maintenance at the work sites.
Well, touring the slough today, the paths have been completely flooded out. Big logs are crossing over the path. Interns are going to be diving into that this week. It's only
next
tomorrow.
Week, well, right, because it was tomorrow. But next week it looks like some chance of rain. So we're trying to get. Yeah, I'll have them work on it a little bit tomorrow.
Things really moved around this time. At Combat Prairie, the grass is a little bit tall, but it's still passable. I'm sure it'll be mowed soon.
A seed greenhouse program, or anything else about paths?
Peter, you had some comments about the stones where the steps go across the creek at the nature preserve. Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, those stones I put there to protect the stepping stones a couple of years ago, and they occasionally get moved around. I'm sure some of the younger residents congregate down there and have fun. I usually put them back some point in time. This time I kind of left them there because they're really not doing too much damage. They try and make their own little walkway or bridge there, but the main purpose of those stones is to protect those stepping stones. And they're not constantly being moved, but at least 2 or 3 times a year, those stones get rearranged. But
would it make sense to come up with more of a sort of permanent protection scheme?
oh, for sure, yeah, we've got those stepping stones and those stairs, especially the stairs. I'm concerned about the erosion. They're eventually going to begin to take away some of the stairs. It's getting closer and closer. Yeah, we got to do something there by the stairs and the stepping stones to prevent that erosion. Something more permanent for sure.
What do you think the best approach would be? Is for us to meet there and talk through it all, or do you want to make recommendations? How do you see that?
Yeah, it almost needs to be, looked at real careful. Maybe bigger stones so they can't be moved. I don't know, Danny. Yeah, it might be a good idea to meet out there, or, have the commissioners, take a look at that and make some recommendations.
Okay. Sounds like it would probably be easier for everybody just to visit it when they could, and then I'll reconvene at some point with an email.
Yeah.
Is that something everybody can do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do that as a plan then. So anytime from now to the end of next week, if you could get over there and take a look at it and give us your recommendations, then we'll come back and put it all together and see what makes sense. Does that sound good, Peter?
Sounds great. Good.
You can also meet with the park district. I can meet with Meadow and see what his recommendations with the park district.
Sure.
And see, maybe they have some ideas as well.
Okay.
Seed greenhouse program. So we grew over 20,000 plants this year. And unfortunately there's a back order on pots, like throughout the country apparently, because you can't find them anywhere, any site, any greenhouse supply store. So we're out of pots, so we've been reusing them. I've been taping them. I've been taping trays together. We're trying to get plants in the ground so that we can reuse the pots that we have. Because the pots, the little guys that are still in their little trays, they just can't handle it. They're root bound. So I'm really looking forward to this work day where we plant, 2,000 plants, because we're gonna get those pots back. So we can replant. So I can replant those plants into their bigger pots. It's been really successful this year. A lot of watering because of the drought. A lot of nice HEBs, and Jill has been just unbelievable. She's come out on several days helping me transplant, and she's washed pots and brought over hundreds of pots, and thanks to Jill, we were able to now transplant another 1,000 because she of all those pots. So
My pleasure.
thank you, Jill.
Very welcome.
She's been great help coming on Sundays.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks, Joe.
And during the week, and it's been, thank you very much. So we have a lot of plans too for our boardwalk program. Like, now we got the grants, and so the boardwalk, and so we have a whole area, a whole section. We have about another 5,000 to 10,000 plants just ready for that project. Those can be planted, through September or next year. They'll be fine until next year. And then as far as seed collection, not yet, but we're gonna do the seed collection for the Sedge Meadow. Okay, that's me. And then next is Commissioner Site Monitoring Reports. Everybody's received everybody's report?
Yeah, I think we're only missing the report on the slough.
And Heron
No, I
Pond.
didn't put one out either on Heron Pond. Sorry for the delay on that. The single track trail over there is getting a little overgrown. We gotta cut that out. But everything back there is starting to bloom nicely, and the main trail's mostly mowed now. So that's good. There's a lot of buckthorn resprouts and stuff coming in too. So, there always is.
Right, yeah.
but, you know, overall it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say the flu is really good too. Michigan lilies are coming around, in new places actually, where we cleared off of Elmhurst Road. The new trails are being attended. It's always a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of invasives coming through, so. The flu is the flu. I mean, water comes in and other things come in all the time, so I think it's just a constant battle with those invasives every year. But I mean, we're winning the battle, but it's slow.
Have we had any complaints about the red-winged blackbirds that dive bomb people
Yes.
as they're walking around the slough? I don't know if our interns have had an issue with it, but I can tell you,
Yeah.
I've seen them take some people out.
Yes, and people do complain, and I myself complain. The interns actually have taken up wearing helmets in certain areas, so they'll wear bicycle helmets because they just dive bomb. And I don't know, this year seems to be really, but it's not just the slough; it's the common prairie. It's everywhere. Everywhere those red-winged blackbirds are. So, not really sure what to do about that.
Maybe we need to reintroduce some buckthorn there to get rid of those critters.
Well, actually, that buckthorn, that's where they like to nest, so we'll need to have even more of them.
Kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. There's, red-winged blackbirds, they're the most successful species around, and their numbers are increasing everywhere. Unfortunately, I hope that they don't displace other species. I've talked to several people about this, and the consensus is that they're not, because they fill different niches. They're just really aggressive birds, and they're very successful at protecting their young, and they'll come out and get you. My only concern is this the new native invasive, because they seem to be just everywhere, and there's so many of them.
I just wonder, I mean, are there things that we could do that would, discourage them? I mean, is there a natural plant that we're using, or native plant that we're planting that attracts them?
No.
That maybe we could have somewhere else that's less trafficked by,
No,
by
they can
residents?
They nest everywhere. They nest in ditches,
Okay.
they nest in the side of the road. I don't know if you noticed, but even driving along the highway, the expressway, there's more red-winged blackbirds. They nest in the cattails and the phragmites and the invasive tracts of land. They're everywhere. They're very successful at nesting anywhere in shrubs, bushes, trees, grasses, anywhere that they can find a nesting site, they'll be there. So they're not really specific to any habitat.
And I suppose it's a good problem to have, but,
Pain in the head.
It's a pain in the
Actually, it was interesting because we didn't, all day today I noticed the absence of red-winged blackbirds. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the bird virus that's sweeping up from Indiana and Ohio.
I hope that's not
It's
the case.
taking out birds like crazy. Blue
It's
jays, blackbirds, robins, and it's
in over 50 counties of Indiana.
it's a virus that crusts their eyes.
They don't know if it's a virus yet. They don't know what it is,
Yeah.
what disease it is. But birds are dropping, and they've asked everybody in Indiana to stop feeding birds, to take down their feeders in case they're congregating. And
They're
spreading
doing
the
that
illness.
now here too.
But since it's been last located in the counties that are adjacent to Illinois, the worry is that they're going to be in our state very soon if it's not already here. And they're not sure what it is yet. There's studies being done by many scientists trying to figure out what's happening and what's causing these deaths of birds, but nobody knows yet.
But oddly, we hear blue jays and red-winged blackbirds every day here at the slough, and there were just none today, and it was noticeable.
It could also be because they're young or raised and they don't have to fight for their.
But if you go over to the prairie, they're everywhere.
Alive and well, I got attacked today twice.
Okay. Alive and well. Okay.
Yeah, the prairie was overrun with them, so hundreds of them.
Right. No worries there. Okay.
Prairie report. I mean, I just sent out the report. It's absolutely beautiful over there. It's just truly remarkable that that's what it looks like after 7 years. The amount of invasive stuff that we used to have is just nowhere near what it used to be.
Thanks to Peter Hahn. Hours and hours and hours of his work.
Herbiciding.
Oh, just Peter. You can see the difference. It's really great.
Mm-hmm.
We're gaining on it for sure.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, I really believe that that high mulching mow job that Sandtech did in lieu of burning was just a godsend this year.
I agree with that.
We really, really, really need to get a good burn to get rid of those Eurasian grasses, and then it's really going to be something else just extraordinary.
It very much helped though, that mowing that they did.
There's a lot of stuff that's just starting to burst right now, so if you get a chance, go over there. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's my report.
Let's move on then to city civic meetings and patient RSC representation.
No, you skipped the treasurer report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Treasurer report.
Hi, thanks. Sorry I didn't get a copy out to everybody. I was a little late on it. Peter Falcone sent me the latest today. And, well, there's plenty of money in the coffers. Our net revenue right now is at $13,621.90. There's a few outstanding orders out there that haven't been placed yet, but that's where we're sitting.
John, if you want, I can try to see if I can share the screen and put it up.
Sure.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
Oh, good. It's working? Okay.
There it is.
The ComEd special projects are on here too. I can switch to the next page if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you scroll down to that. So you can see we got $4,500 for the Pollinator Park left. And now the Boardwalk project, $12,000.
Really great.
Thank you.
Really great. A lot of work. And
Yeah, a lot of work.
Oh,
What do you do with it?
there's one thing the ROW, I should tell them about that. I totally forgot.
Okay, go ahead, I guess. So what, right?
I'm gonna interject something in between this and the civics meetings. I'm sorry.
Well, do you want to finish with the treasurer report first? Maybe
You're
questions?
done. Any questions about the treasurer's report? Okay, last week, Abigail Darby Lewis contacted me about adding our names to this commission that's part of Chicago Wilderness and a bunch of other organizations. And it's a commission that is put together to study right-of-way access for green corridors and exploring the possibilities with transportation and utilities specifically. And
Like ComEd, MWRD, IDOT.
correct. ComEd, NICOR Gas, anybody who's a public that has land
Right away.
that could either be partially remnant or could be ripe for turning over. And Abigail, based on, she was out 2 years ago and was extremely excited about our progress there with the ComEd Prairie. Based on that, she recommended to that commission that we be part of that. And so they sent out an invitation.
For just a Zoom meeting.
For a Zoom meeting, like 2 days later. I attended that meeting. They had us fill out a survey on what we did, and they're sort of asking us to, as the commission moves forward and they figure out what their new initiatives would be, they've asked us to be a part of that as like someone who's already involved in the right-of-way access with Commonwealth Edison. So that was kind of cool. And it all just happened, and I haven't had time to even put it in writing. So that's an important update, and I think it's a feather in a cap for the commission and
for the city and the park district and
everybody
to be involved in this. And we're going to update. I mean, obviously the city and the park district, as soon as we know anything, but it would be really great to be involved because we really have done that in a right of way, you know, to provide natural habitat, and so they're looking to incorporate that over a larger scale, the Chicago wilderness. And there's and so they're willing to participate.
Right. They have a grant, I think a $2 million grant from, I can't remember the organization. It's a large philanthropic organization to put together this.
Donnelly Foundation?
Yeah, McDonnelly Foundation. Donnelly Foundation. To do this initial study and look at the possibilities of either acquiring or working in partnerships with people who have right-of-way access. So it certainly wouldn't be anything that we would take on as new projects, but it's nice to be included in the conversation.
Right.
And think about just the massive landmass that's available along our expressways and tollways and, interstates. I mean, it's significant.
Well, if you think of the rest of the Commonwealth Edison land that's associated with our little strip of prairie, I mean, it goes all the way through Arlington Heights, through Prospect Heights, Wheeling, and then into Mount Prospect.
Right.
It's 44.
It's 45 acres.
45 acres.
Just in Prospect Heights. So, I mean, that's just a common right of way. I mean,
Right. So those are sort of the things that they're looking to identify.
And working with partners and
Right.
working with all these organizations like the Department of Transportation, MWRD, and a lot of these organizations are really interested in creating this and having more naturalization of right-of-ways. So.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a list they're going to be sending us of all the people who were originally involved in the project. I mean, it's like University of Illinois is just a lot of really important players that are involved in this project, and so.
So we can offer advice too about how we approach this, and maybe some advice too about.
Well, the one thing that we have is a perspective that everything we do is embedded in a residential neighborhood. Most of these areas are not like that. A few are, but certainly we're unique in that situation. So I think we have a unique perspective on what it takes to make it work in a tight neighborhood. So
community engagement.
Yes.
Definitely.
So anyway, I'm sorry. That saves me an email out to you. So as soon as I get more specifics from them, I'll pass it on to everybody, and then you'll be able to be updated.
Okay, that's great. That's great news.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go on.
City civic meetings and PHNRC representation.
Right. Well, I sent all of you meeting minutes from the City Council and the Park District Board meetings for April and May and part of June. At the June 22nd Prospect Heights Park District Board meeting, the Friends of Tully Park there were about 62 people who actually spoke of their opposition to receipt of the Park District for a modular soccer field from the community church. So the Park District Board is taking it under consideration, and there'll be further follow-up on that. And as you know, the block party is August 28th from 3 to 10 p.m.
Thank you. Okay. Shall I move on? Announcements to the public?
I don't have any.
No. Visitors' comments? No visitors.
make the motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.